There is a blood moon on March 25th. And then on April 8th is going to be a solar or darkened sun, a solar eclipse. September 18th is also going to have a blood moon, as well as October 2nd is going to have a solar. So there are 2 solar and there are 2 lunar eclipses, of which 2 of them is within a month from where we are. Now, what we need to understand in particular, and I want to focus and zero in on the one that is on April 8th, because that is the big one, because it's a complete darkened sun, or you have complete darkness for a period of time over the entire Western world, also over the entire US, which is really creating, if you look at, there was one also in 2017, and it's creating what we call an X over the Western world, over the US. Now, because it is happening on April the 8th, Minister, I simply went into Exodus 4 and verse 8, and this is what I found. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe me, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign. When was the first sign that was similar like this? It would have been the one that occurred in 2017. Then they shall believe the voice of the latter sign. Then they shall believe the voice of the latter sign. Now, Dr. Khan, you will be able to identify from the scripture that very rare you will hear that a sign have a voice. Are you there with me?
Yeah.
And therefore, it means, therefore, that the scriptures is telling us that the sign has a voice. Now, here is interesting. The year 2024, next slide, the year 2024 has these 4 eclipses. Well, it is a direct duplication of what happened in the year 480 BC, when there was also 4 eclipses, 2 blood moons and 2 darkened sun, basically falling on the exact same date with exception to 1 day in April. And in 480 BC, it is when Esther will go to see the king and to petition the king for the life of the Jews and to bring an end to the work of Hamas or Haman. Very close names that are there. So 2024, which is 5784 in the Jewish calendar, is also referred to as the year of Queen Esther, or the year that Esther goes to see the king. Are you there with me?
Yeah.
This is because it is the duplication. So the duplication of Esther years in the heavens will duplicate itself in 2024. Are you there with me? 2024, as you know, there are 24 elders before the throne. The eclipse coming in April 8th has many very, very interesting facts that I believe are significant and urgent sign from God to repent and make sure you're ready for Him. The Bible clearly says that we will know the season. So I am not interested, and we don't search for dates. We search for seasons. However, within a season, there are dates.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yeah.
All right? So we need to know that we are looking for season. Matthew 16, 1 Thessalonians 5. And then the sun, the moon, and stars are for marking signs and seasons. Genesis 1 and verse 14, Luke 21, 25. As a teacher in the pre-tribulation rapture, our blessed hope is at hand, and He has set His signs in the heaven for us to see. These are some of the amazing things I want to just deal with this particular one that is here. Number 1, April 8th eclipse and the American eclipse of 2017 part creates a big X over America that indicates the coming judgment. Now, in the Jewish world, they teach that whenever there is a lunar or blood moon, it's a judgment to the Jewish people. Whenever there is a darkened sun or solar eclipse, it's a judgment to the world. Are you there with me? Yeah. Do you know that quite recently, Twitter has changed their name to an X? And the letter X in our alphabet is the 24th letter. Now you have something that is being created on the earth that is going to create an X in the year 2024. The eclipse of 2017 and the one coming on April the 8th is exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. And from seacoast to seacoast, so the entire period that is going to run on land is exactly 3 hours, the exact same time that Jesus was on the cross when there was darkness on the earth for 3 hours. Okay, neighbor, tell them it's happening in your day, you will see it. It's happening in your day. The April eclipse will pass over the United States, just as the Lord will pass over Egypt in Exodus chapter 12, and he judged Egypt. Note, it was only the blood of a pure lamb that was able to provide some measure of safety during the time of judgment. The eclipse of 2017 entered the United States and passed over 7 cities that were all named Salem, like the name for Jerusalem. Jerusalem is called Salem in many parts of the Bible, but when did one pass in 2017? 7 cities was named Salem. Here it is. The one coming on April the 8th, the eclipse will pass over 7 cities named Nineveh. 1 city named Jonah. Note that Nineveh is a story of Jonah when he was going to destroy Nineveh. God told him to go and preach against it, and there was a mark in the heavens too as well. Matthew 16 and verse 4 says that the last days there will be no sign given to it. You know why? Because this is a wicked and perverse generation. We have one sign you give them. The sign of Jonah. This one that is going to come in 1 month time is going to pass through 7 cities along the way, all of them by the name of Nineveh. The intersection of the 2017 and 2024 eclipse crosses over a southern city or southern town in Illinois, and it's called Little Egypt. So where the X is called Little Egypt, as judgment and exodus or escape. We find here too as well, it is going to pass over, the entire eclipse is passing through what is called the Madrid fault line, which is the major fault line for major earthquakes. This intersection also happened to include, there is only one place in the entire US, it's called Rapture, it's going to cross over that, and Creation Museum, which is Answers in Genesis, has rebuilt an original or a duplicate of exactly what Noah's Ark looks like, and they have an entire creation museum there. The eclipse is going to cross over Noah's Ark. On the day of April the 8th, there will be an extremely rare planetary alignment forming a straight line of 7 planets. While the eclipse is going on, there is a planetary alignment in the heavens. On April the 8th, there is a comet that also going to pass through Earth's atmosphere. The last time it crosses Earth was in the year 1954, and the name of the comet is called the Devil's Comet. All of this happening on one day. One day. On October 14th last year, 2023, I don't know if some of you all will remember, there was a solar eclipse as well that created a ring of fire that passed over the US. It passed over the very place in Texas where the red heifers were founded and transported to Israel. When it created the ring of fire over Texas area. Have you seen type of fires coming out of Texas? Have you seen a Texas trying to break away from the United States because there was an eclipse over them happened October of last year. The ring here may be a symbol of a wedding that is close by, and if it's so, we the bride or the church, we might have just been shown the ring that we were told. Now, if I combine the 3 eclipses, 2017, the ring eclipse in 2023, and the one coming in 2024, we get a picture of the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which is Aleph, that's the A that you see in here. And we also have the X by itself, which is the original last letter, which is Tav. That means we now have a photograph on the earth over the Western world for Aleph Tav, or Alpha and Omega, or beginning and the end, or the first and the last. All in one photograph on the earth. So, this eclipse is going to pass through the following places. It's going to pass through something called a cross. It's going to pass through a town called Elijah, he was raptured. A place called Enoch, he was raptured. A place called a flood, that happened. A place called Groom, we know we expected the Groom. A place called Israel, well, that is the highlight of the earth. A place called Jonah, we know the sign of Jonah. One straight, one line, huh? A place called Nineveh, 7 times Nineveh is mentioned. A place called Noah as well. And of course, a place called Rapture. All happening in the month of April.